Hi. So my name is Sabrina, and I have a story to tell. It's not a special story or any worse than anybody else's story. I think actually it's probably all too common in America today. Exactly what happens. Because you don't think about the things that happen. If you got in a wreck tomorrow, if you left your house expecting that it was just a normal day and you were just running errands and picking up presents and like a cake for your kid's birthday, and then you woke up in a hospital, have you thought about the reality? I might not have woke up. I might not have woke up that day. And I think about that a lot, actually, and how things would have been different. How things would be different for my family, how things would be different in the world. What did I leave undone that I should have already done? That was, they say, if you get in a horrible wreck or you have some horrible tragedy happen to you, your life is going to flash before your eyes. You're gonna think of all the things you've done, and you're gonna have all these regrets. And you know what? I can tell you from personal experience, my life did not flash before my eyes, and I did not think of all of the things that I had done. Because in that moment we're gonna get to, and just bear with me. In that moment, it didn't matter anything that I had done yet. What mattered is what I hadn't done. And that's what still matters today, is what I hadn't done. Because I tend to put things off. I don't know how to do things. Nobody ever told me how to do these things, so I kind of just wait until it reveals itself to me, I guess, or until somebody gives me some hint that sets me off in the right direction. So I don't know how to do one of these videos, and I'm really, really hoping I don't do it wrong. And I've put off doing it because I was convinced I would do it wrong, that I would somehow say it wrong or not well enough, or all the focus is when I look at the video is on my flaws, of course, because I'm I don't have very good self-esteem, and that's not my fault, but it's something that I carry with me. So I'm very nervous about this, and I'm extremely anxious. Actually, I have an anxiety disorder now, so I'm kind of shaky. I'm trying to distract myself by drawing so that I'm not focused on my fears right now. Because when I think about my past, and I want to talk about my past, I want to talk about my wreck, I want to talk about the way that the system kind of just fucked me off and left me in the dirt like I didn't matter all my life. All my life since I was born. It's been kind of a series of ways that I have been clipped or molded or told to fit in better, or told to sit down and shut up, or told that children should be seen and not heard, and basically made to feel like I was a burden on society, before I was physically crippled. And it definitely makes it very difficult to feel like I can be productive now because the physical limitations. So pardon me, I do get distracted easily. I'm trying to avoid the topics that I know I really need to get to. So, I was born in a small town in rural Ohio, and I was the sixth in our family. I've had lots of stories told to me about my birth and blah blah blah, and I don't know what to believe of them, so I don't want to pass them all on. what I know for sure is that my parents already had several kids and a lot of problems before I came along. And I don't blame them for that anymore, because I realize, much like me, they had the problems that were dealt to them when they were born, and then the ones that they adopted throughout their life. You know, and we all do that when we have these crappy situations that we're born into, or like difficult childhoods, or we tend to find coping mechanisms, some way to handle what's happening to us, and we all find different ones. And some of mine were healthier than others, and some of them I miss more than others, and some of them I am reconnecting with now, like right now. So I don't fault, man, I hear about people talk about addiction and like, oh, addicts just, they choose that life, and I fucking didn't, man. I didn't choose it. I don't think that the majority of addicts that you talk to would say that they chose it. Did I choose to get high the first time I got high? You better fucking believe I did. I would do it again. Damn, that was really honest. And I would. Because I'm still in a shitty situation, and I still wish that I had a way to escape. Would I get high right now? Obviously not, because I have been clean off of meth for 23 and a half years, I believe. I don't keep count so great anymore, but it's been a while. June 14th, 1997. And I made this conscious decision. Because addiction wasn't something that happened to me. I think that it was something I was predisposed to, and it made it easier for it to take root, but it wasn't something that happened to me. I made the choice. I did it every time, and when given those choices, I've shown a repetitive habit of making bad ones in relationships and coping mechanisms, and gosh, I really hope that I'm improving those things now, because I am trying to. We get these things handed to us, and we all have different hands dealt, that we start out with, and it really is up to you how you handle that, how you handle that from the moment that you realize that this is your baggage to handle. What do you do with it? Do you take it out on other people? Do you turn into an angry, bitter person? Do you, become cynical? I think I'm pretty cynical now. I have to admit that. Or do you just try to change things? Do you try to make the world a better fucking place so that this shit doesn't keep happening to more kids, so that maybe the next generation, you'll have some brilliant artists and really great thinkers that pursue that learn how to turn that into something good for society, because nobody ever told me how to do that. Yeah, you have a great mind. Oh, you could go far. Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do with it? I still don't know. Well, you should write. Yeah, I write all the time. Who wants to read it? Nobody. Unless it's on social media, because we don't have time for that anymore. That's not the priority anymore. The priority nowadays is all instant gratification, which brings us back to the addictions. Because when I was this kid growing up in rural Ohio, and my parents were alcoholics and my siblings were alcoholics, and there was a lot of really unhealthy things going on in our family that I might go into and I might not, but suffice it to say that it wasn't functional. There was alcoholism and addiction, and those traits were passed right down to the children, because what choice do you have, when you don't even realize what you're doing? Can you stop yourself from doing it? Can you stop yourself from training your child to do the same thing? And I think that that's a lot of the problem that we actually have in America today, is a generation of lost souls with no direction who are raising children. And, you know, a lot of people are just trying to do the best they can and just hoping that they don't screw things up worse for the next generation. But, you know, we carry the baggage that we're handed to us, and our children are going to do that too. And I guess that's something that we have to accept, that everybody is going to have their own path to walk. But it sure is not easy to watch, you know, when you look at the way that society is kind of falling apart and how broken everything is around us. I think a lot of it is because we're losing what's important to greed and corruption. And there's nobody who is willing or able to stand up and put a stop to it. You know? It's just the way it is. Well, life isn't fair. You know, this is just how things work. And the sooner you accept that, the easier it'll be. Well, everybody has a dream, you know, but the sooner you let those go, the easier it is to accept that you're not supposed to dream. Not in this society, not in this country. See, and that's a broken thing about America. I'm drawing with my eraser, by the way. That's a broken thing about America, that we're forbidden to dream. You can dream all you want, but you can't have them. And that's the thing. You have to keep remembering that these things aren't things you're allowed to have. That's what I had beaten in my head from the time I was tiny. You know, you can think about it and you can wish you had it, but you're never going to have it. This is never going to happen for you. This is out of reach for you. You know, when I was a little kid, they told me, these are your options. These are the things you're allowed to do. And that was it. Because I was a girl, and I was raised in this certain religious sect. Back with my pencil. They did not teach me that as a girl I could do whatever I wanted. Now, sometimes I was told, oh, you can do what you want when you grow up. You can be what you want to be. But at the same time, I was also told, but not that. Well, not that. You know, and I remember vaguely hearing a couple of times, you know, you could do this. You could stretch farther. You could try harder. And those, you know, those things now, I really cling on to the things that, like, Mr. Gosser put in my head in 5th grade, because those are the things now as an adult that I wish I had done more of. You know, I wish that I had focused more when I had more potential still. Because now, I already woke up from that wreck. You know? And all those things that I wish I had done differently beforehand, too late. Too late to change those things. You know, and part of the after effects of that wreck is that my memory is kind of fucked now, and I don't get to do the things that I want to do anymore, because I will not remember them from one minute to the next, even when I want to. And I hate that. That's depressing. I shouldn't have talked about that. So, but that's one of the after effects, you know. This wasn't something I wanted. I just wanted to go to the store, man. I feel Janice in me right now. I could just scream about it, because I just wanted to go to the fucking store. I loaded my 5 kids and one of their friends in the car, and I did not think twice about, when I get out of this car, my life will have changed in ways I can never get back. I didn't realize what I was doing that day. You know, but we make those choices. We make those instant choices that we don't realize how important they are until later. Until later, when you would do anything to change them, you know. Because would I go back and not get in that car? Well, you better believe it, if I could save my baby's life. I would have stayed home. I wish I had stayed home, you know, but I didn't. I got in that car, and it should have been that simple that we just went to the store. We lived out of town, so it was like a half an hour drive to get to the local town where we live now. So we headed out. There's a road called 260 here in Arizona, and it goes between a couple of main towns. So